appreciate this crowd for coming out. It means a lot. Miami down 3-1, and they're still representing. Sitting with me right now, former Pittsburgh Steeler, now a Denver Bronco. He signed this offseason a 3-year deal to join Peyton Manning. Legacy. That's good news for you. Give it up for Emmanuelle Sanders, please. We'll talk football in just a moment, but you picked the Spurs. That's the easy choice.
Yeah.
So essentially you're saying the series is over. Had you had the Spurs prior to last night?
Prior to game one, I had the Spurs all the way.
Good for you.
Me and the Keith to lead, we actually had a fair little wager, little locker room talk. And he's a big Heat guy, and I'm a big LeBron fan. I think LeBron is the greatest player in the world, but I had to go with the Spurs. From a depth standpoint, the Spurs from 1 to 10 are way better than the Miami Heat to me. And then not only that, just watching the playoffs from a fundamentally sound team, you know, you can't pick a better team. And, you know, the ball movement, like you said. And I remember playing AAU basketball, and my team was kind of the, athletic guys, street ball, we'll beat street ball type teams, but every time we faced a team that was a fundamentally sound team, they'll beat us. They shoot our lights out, they're at their spots. They set up an offense and things of that sort, so I had to go with the Spurs. I'm kind of like Stephen A. Last year, Stephen A., he wanted to go with the Heat, but he was like, from an analytical standpoint, I'm going to follow, my mind instead of my heart. So this year, I went with the Spurs.
I followed my heart this year. but I looked at them yesterday, and like I said, it's not an excuse. It's just a point of fact to watch them and to look at them look gassed so early. You watched the game last night. Did you not see what I saw, a Miami Heat team that looked tired?
You know what? Last night I was actually in Denver. I didn't get an opportunity to even watch the game because I was on the plane. Okay. But I remember talking to Keeb in the locker room, and I told him, when those guys in game 3, they're out there trying to come back, they're playing extra minutes, I said, look, they might just lose 2 games in a row at home because they're going to be winded. And obviously, when I got off the plane, I checked my phone, and I was excited because, like I said, I got that little wager with it. And, I didn't expect, I expected the Spurs to win the series, but, of course, I didn't expect it to be this bad. Right. I don't think no one could have predicted that they would have beat the Miami Heat.
To me, that's what Skip would all be. The only reason Skip is acting this way is because it's his Spurs, and the slightest little thing gets him rattled. There's the same guy that threw something at his TV, almost broke it because they messed up his column in a regular season game. Okay, and I'm sitting there going like this. If it were anybody else, you would pay attention to this factor, but you don't want to give it up because you know that this you don't want anything to interrupt what's going on right now. But the Spurs. It's not just, of course, Greg Popovich looks brilliant. There's no question. And, of course, the team, they're the better team. But you look at them, and who would have thought in their wildest dreams that you'd see a Miami Heat team incapable of defending somebody and looking tired at the same time?
Did Thiago Splitter dunk last night? Thiago Splitter dunk?
What about that?
The video? Do we have the video?
It came to that. Thiago dunked?
Skip,
it came to that.
Skip, I'm not so sure the water boy didn't get a dunk. I really am not so sure. That's how bad it was.
Okay, before I get to what I'm going to take issue with both of you on, can I give a quick shout-out to my favorite San Antonio Spur? Patty Mills.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Patty Mills. Listen, all the big shots last night, and I think you'll admit this, the will breakers, the momentum breakers were made by Patty Mills. Those burying those corner threes. Thank you, Patty. Because a couple times,
by the way, wide open corner threes.
Okay, but you got to make them.
I know.
When it counts.
I mean, nobody was in the vicinity.
Okay, let's take the gloves off. Now, you have admitted you're a LeBron fan.
Okay.
And I have let you, to this moment in this show, get away with saying that the Heat were so exhausted in the second quarter, they couldn't get up the court.
Okay.
Baloney! I'm not giving you that excuse.
Okay.
Stephen A. Smith, it was Game 4 in Miami of the NBA Finals, and you're telling me a team in the second quarter with the world's greatest, most fittest athlete is gassed? I am not going to let you get away with that. I'm sorry. They weren't gassed.
Let me ask you a question.
Sorry.
Anybody that was there knows I'm telling the truth. By the way, I am not excusing it. I find it inexcusable. But it was what it was.
Okay, explain this to me. again, a LeBron fan.
Okay.
I go back and forth from night to night. I'm scared to death of LeBron James because he has the capability that is nuclear to go off on my Spurs as he did in Game 2. So last night, I'm expecting from the opening tip for LeBron to be in all-out attack mode. And he was passive on offense from the start. And all of a sudden, we get drama king LeBron again. Twice he has to run back to the locker room, wants to use the bathroom, and wants to get his ankle retaped, or that's what Spoelstra said. Come on, Stephen A., you cannot give this man a pass. If he is the world's greatest player, you can't do that to your team in a do-or-die, desperate game at home in which in the first quarter he had 0 assists. He was unplugged. He was disengaged too long in the first half on offense. That game was basically over after 2 quarters, I thought. At halftime, 19 points was basically over. So we can't say one day he's the greatest player in the world, and the next day, let's give him a pass. He didn't have enough help last night.
First of all, LeBron James is not getting a pass. LeBron James is the best player in the world, and when your team goes down like that, you don't get to get a pass.
Thank you.
Of course you're culpable. I'm not saying that he's not. But if we're going to do it, let's be honest about all the things that go into it. When we watch a playoff game, we don't get to ignore what transpired throughout the regular season and act as if it has no impact on what has transpired. LeBron James has been carrying the Miami Heat all season long. This team was constructed where you've got, it doesn't matter that Chris Bosh is on this team. He doesn't even get plays called for him, like you say. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James are the catalyst for this team. The reason why the Shane Battiers, the Ray Allens of the world, the Chris Birdman, Andersons and everybody else is on this team because they have roles to play, assuming that the big two in LeBron and D-Wade play their role. So you got Dwayne Wade missing a third of the season. That's a problem. But you still get in as a number 2 seed because, like you and I acknowledged, they weren't concerned about the Indiana Pacers. But over the course of that, you still have D-Wade being out a third of the year. So now we come to finals. And not only do you have a team out west where the West was considerably better, you have the best team in the West. A team that's fresh off of having lost in last year's NBA Finals. A team that not only wants the title but wants you, has the best coach in basketball, and has depth and the greatest power forward to have ever played the game. So they're going up against you. And now you're LeBron and your compadre, your number 2 dude. Tim Grover swears Dwayne Wade's knees are fine. Structurally, they may be fine, but as we clearly saw last night, it had no lift whatsoever. Couldn't get off the ground, for crying out loud. So what are we saying? What you got to deal with is, I don't have my number 2, and the role players, their productivity is contingent on what me and my number 2 do. And it wasn't there. What you want me to say? It is what it is.
Okay, in Game 2 in San Antonio in the first half, LeBron James scored 12 points in the paint. Last night in the first half, he scored 0 points in the first half in the paint.
Last night he had 19 points in the third quarter, and the Miami Heat had 21.
Okay, but the game was virtually over.
He just
freestyling.
I'm just saying, no. What I'm saying is they only scored 2 points. No one else made a shot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say how bad it was. One other person made a shot. Mario Chalmers had a sighting for 2 seconds, and he made a little 12-foot baseline J. And then said, woo, thank God. Okay? That was the only other shot anybody made in the third quarter. What you want him to do? I know LeBron's culpable. I know that he doesn't get a pass, but what do you want him to do when you're going up against this team and you have no help whatsoever?
I mean, honestly, what you're saying, Stephen A., is you're making excuses for the Heat.
I'm talking facts.
But you are making excuses. At the end of the day, this whole conversation comes to one point: the Spurs are the better team.
Okay.
It comes down to it. They're the best team.
But I recall saying that.
Point blank period.
But I recall saying that.
No one saw this series looking like this. The Heat being beat twice at home. No one would have.
You may have been in the friendly skies, flying from one city to another. All right. You may not have heard. You may not have seen the show. Everybody has acknowledged that the San Antonio Spurs were the better team and the deeper team. What we all felt, however, was that LeBron James being that superstar, the teams were evenly matched enough where you'd get to a Game 7, and then that one dude is supposed to be able to take you there.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the team has been blitzed just blitzed since they arrived in South Beach. That's your problem.
All right, quickly, because we got to go. And we didn't ask you anything about football. Tell us about the decision to join the Broncos. Excited?
Yeah,
I'm
super excited. Like I said, I got Peyton Manning as my quarterback. He's the greatest, if not one of the greatest. And I'm excited. I'm ready to take off. I played in June Jones' system at SMU. I played in the passing system. I went out for a lot of yards, so I'm expecting for me to have a great year, and I expect for my team to have a great year.
It is hard to believe that you departed from Mr. Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger, but I understand.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin is like a father figure to me. I definitely miss those guys over there, but I'm not going to lie, I'm happy to be where I'm at.
Good for you. All
so
right.
You're going to guarantee that Denver wins the AFC?
I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I tell you what, we got a hungry team. We got a really good team.
Yeah.
John Elway has made a lot of transitions and acquisitions in the offseason to bring in some hungry guys, and I'm looking forward to the season.
All of you guys that have come in from the offseason, I'm so happy that y'all there, because at some point in time, y'all might need to go into the locker room and slap those dudes upside the head that refused to show up in the Super Bowl. I'm still ticked off at that.
Give it up for Emmanuelle Sanders, everybody.
Didn't even show up.
Emmanuelle, do you know Antrell? Have you guys met before?
They should be embarrassed. They
We're
gave
going to
Peyton
the
Manning
pickup
no
board.
support.
Giant safety Antrell Rolle is there. Representing LeBron.